Hello, I'm Zander. I'm a rising junior at SAR High School, and this is the second milestone video for my project, which is the RC hovercraft. So, brace your ears a little, it might get a little loud. So what I just did is I turned on this bottom fan here, and what this fan does is it pushes air into the skirt over here, which is on the bottom, and the skirt inflated, and there are small holes in the bottom of the skirt which let the air out through the bottom and allowed the hovercraft to lift up. So, and then I also showed off this fan which can turn so that I'm able to steer it. So the way I put everything together was the foam chassis. I basically super glued that together, and the way I decided what each piece would look like is on a computer program. I designed it and I put it together in real life, and it works and it looks good. The way the skirt was made is there are two layers of a tent canvas material. The top layer, which is attached to the bottom of the chassis, has a hole in it big enough for the fan to push air through it to inflate the skirt, and the bottom layer of the skirt, as I said before, has little small holes to allow the air to escape to lift up the hovercraft. So, and this fan here is the thrust fan. And the way it's attached is there is a stack of foam pieces connected with duct tape, and that's how it's able to stand up here. And the hover fan is also connected with duct tape. As you can see, duct tape was my friend in this build. So some challenges I had were, it was a little hard to visualize how the skirt would look. But once we figured that out, it was pretty good, and I was able to start to assemble it. Also, figuring out how big the holes should be on the bottom was also a challenge, because if you make them too big, then the skirt will let out too much air and won't inflate at all, and it won't even be able to get any lift. But if you don't put like too many holes, if you put too little amount of holes, then the skirt will inflate too much and the hovercraft could tip over. So I had to find that median, that point where it wasn't tipping over, but it was still inflating, and that's how I was able to do that. Also, to add on from my first video, which was the electronic components, I added this switch here, right there, on-off switch, so I wouldn't have to take out every single electronic component in order to turn the fans off. So I could just do it from this switch. So overall, this build was very fun. The electronic components were tough at first, but once I figured out how they all connected and all that, it was pretty good, fun to build and all that. And the foam chassis was fun to design on the computer, and it was pretty challenging at first to figure out the right dimensions, but once I got it, it felt very good, and it was a really good accomplishment. And as I mentioned earlier, the skirt was a challenge, but I overcame that, and overall I think this is a very fun build. So thank you for listening.